Hello, welcome to Chattanooga Writers Guild program. We are interviewing Marsha Mills. I am Mark Anderson, president of Chattanooga Writers Guild. And normally we meet in the Chattanooga Downtown City Library, but for now we are doing these online interviews with special guests, and then we're playing them on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. And tonight we have Marsha Mills, who is the president of Rhyme N Chatt, an awesome spoken word performing poetry organization, and we're going to get to know her right now. Hi, Marsha.
Hello, Mark.
First of all, how long has Rhyme N Chatt been around? How did it get started, and when did you jump in?
Okay, well, Rhyme N Chatt got its start in 1999. Two amazing local poets, Vincent Phipps and Damian Helton, are the ones who things started. It's an interactive poetry group, so that's one of the things that separates Rhyme N Chatt from a lot of other poetry organizations, because we do allow for interaction. The person shares a poem, and then those in attendance can ask questions, make comments about the poetry, ask questions of the poet. And I actually joined in 1999, the year that it started. I got wind of it. I've been like what we call a shoebox poet, where I would write, but I would never verbalize it, never share it.
Okay.
And go to a session, and enjoyed it so much that after attending a few times, I saw it as a safe space. And that was when I first started actually reading my poems out loud to an audience. And about 4 or 5 years in, I became the president of the organization. Our founders have moved on and are doing other amazing things. And Rhyme N Chatt we're still moving forward.
Okay. Is performance poetry a major part of it, or are you more like the write it down and read it? Or what degree is
It's actually both. It's a really good mix of both. One of the requests that we have of people who share under the auspices of Rhyme N Chatt is that the poetry be PG-13. So we do make that request. Of course, a writer can write however they desire, but when they share on a Rhyme N Chatt stage, that is our request, that the poetry be PG-13 for the audience. But if a person wants to read, they can. If they have it memorized and they want to recite, they can. If they want to share poetry that was written by someone else, they have an opportunity to do that. And we actually have some poets, including myself, who will bring in a theatrical element. Sometimes there's costuming that we will bring in. There's props that we will bring in to help get our message across. Some of us sing a little bit in the midst of our poetry.
Okay.
So it's wide open. However you decide to express yourself, Rhyme N Chatt embraces that.
How long of usually your events are in the evening, right? They're an evening event. About how long and how many poets would read or perform in a night?
Okay, now I will say that there's a couple of elements to Rhyme N Chatt. We have, or we used to have, we don't have them as often now, but open to the public community open mic events where anyone can come in, any age, can come in, share, sit in, be a part of the audience. We don't have them often as we used to, because we found that there are so many open mic venues and opportunities now, including the Well, and there's just several opportunities for that. So we don't do that as often now. And then we also have like our ticketed performance events where we'll actually get a venue and sell tickets. And those are the events that you're mentioning, where they happen at night. They're usually like on a Friday night, and it's for adults. And we just invite people to come in, and we still have the interactive element to it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So about how many, so if I was to go see one of these, how many poets would be on the stage during a night?
Let's see.
And do they do a long set or just one? How long would each person be on the stage?
We generally have one poem per person because we have so many poets that we're trying to give an opportunity to hit the stage. And then we also allow anybody who's in the audience to sign up for open mic, and they can come up and hit the stage too. So we've had as many as 20 poets come through, and that's with them sharing their work, whatever the presentation they want to make. And then our MC will open the floor up and allow people in the audience to comment, to ask questions about the poet, their style, the actual poetry that they shared. And then we also have a live band. So there's music, there's dancing, there's usually some food involved. So we just have a grand, usually it lasts maybe about 2.5, 3 hours.
How did you make poetry so fun? I mean, we think poetry is, well, it probably depends on the culture, but you know, the Emily Dickinson crowd is known for being pretty down. Serious.
Yeah, it can get kind of stuffy. Yeah, and I've had several people who have come to our shows, and usually they're coming with a friend who has grabbed them by the arm and drugged them to a poetry show. And they said, I never really cared for poetry, but I actually had a good time at the show. And there's been people that have come by themselves and they leave with friends. So I actually believe that it's the interactive element to it because it welcomes conversation. It welcomes warmth. It welcomes engagement. And so, you may sit at a table or sit close to people who you do not know, but because there's a spirit of exchange, you end up talking to the people at the table. You end up, carrying on conversations. Our MC, her name is Rachel. We call her poetic name is Natural Thoughts. And she is one of those people, and I'm sure that you've been in an environment like this, where there could be a speaker on stage who's speaking to 1,000 people, but those people feel like they just made a friend because that MC is so warm and so welcoming. That's the way that Rachel is. So she does a phenomenal job of making everyone feel at ease. And it's funny and it's fun and it's very fluid and organic. We never have a true understanding of how the show is really going to flow because we just don't know how things are going to go. And there's been times that poets have come up and shared a poem, and the conversation, the chat that happens afterwards takes quite a while because it just spurs that type of interaction from the audience. So yeah, the reason that, to me, the reason that our events are so much fun is because the audience is amazing.
Cool. What did you grow up reading and writing poetry, or was what was your process in poetry, and who have you appreciated in the past and that influenced you?
Oh goodness. Okay, so you've asked me like several questions. So I believe initially my exposure to poetry was pretty much like anyone else who's gone through the public school system. We write 3rd, 4th grade, we write Mother's Day poems and Valentine's Day poems and things of that nature. Reading poetry as I'm going through middle school and high school. And I believe the first poet that I really got introduced to and that I really was drawn to was Maya Angelou. And to actually see someone who looked like me sharing poetry and speaking so eloquently and having such power in their words, that struck with me. Now, since then, of course, there's a whole list of amazing poets who speak to me. But it wasn't until I found myself, and this was in my adulthood, that I found myself going through a difficult time, a challenging time emotionally, that I started to write. And I found that being able to, something about having the pen and paper and being able to just do a purge and just pour it all out into a more concrete fashion was like amazingly, it was freeing and it was therapeutic for me. It was years, it wasn't until I was introduced to Rhyme N Chatt that I even gave voice to any of the things that I had written. But I found that on the other side of doing what I call a purge, I felt so much better and I was able to think so much more clearly. So that's actually what birthed the poet in me.
Okay. Do you have something that you could share, your own, or what did you bring tonight to give us a taste of your while you look?
I actually do have something that I wrote, and it actually it's called Know Me, Know Me, and it's actually a poem that kind of was written in pain. I'm sure that many people, I'm hoping that I'm not alone in this, have times when you feel alone. You may be surrounded by people, but you still feel isolated and alone in your circumstance. So I will share this one, and it's called Know Me.
Cool.
You think you know me, but you don't. For to know me is to lay down self and crawl into this umber skin, to live this life and breathe this air, and carry this burden of secrets and regrets locked deep within. Opportunities lost, never to come again. Victories won and challenges overcome to the attentive audience of one. You see, you don't know me. Because to know me is to pry open doors on rusted hinges and pick locks that have no key, cutting fingers on sharp bent edges, bruised, beaten, and bleeding life's oil. You must read lines and lines of fragmented, broken pieces of unfinished poems, carry guilt like a lead albatross of the thoughts and whispers, glimpses of inspiration allowed to slip through fingers, escaping grasp in all hopes of capturing a moment in time, a time in eternity that was never meant to be harnessed by the meager tools of this mind, this paper, and this pen. See, you think you know me, but you have no idea of the pain behind this smile, the tears behind this laugh, the lies behind this truth, the emptiness behind these doors. You don't know me. For to know me is to lose you. And then and only then will you get a small fleeting glimpse of knowing me.
Wow.
Yeah. I got the snaps.
So do you have that written down? Because
I do. I had to read it. I don't have it memorized.
okay. Because when I hear that, there's a lot there, and I want to hear it again. In other words, it's like I enjoy the live reading of it to hear your voice and the sounds of it and everything. But there is something about written poetry. I mean, have you published a book?
I have not, and I've had so many people ask me that question and then follow up with, and why not? I have been fortunate enough to be part of several poetry anthologies. Rhyme N Chatt the organization has published 2 books of poetry where members of the organization have contributed to the book. I was blessed to be a part of Main Street Mondays, which was a poetry writing workshop that our dear friend Erica was facilitated. She was over that experience. It was an amazing experience. And from that, we were able to publish a book. And then there's been the Phoenix that Chattanooga State puts out. I've had poetry published in that as well. But I am working on a book. I'm actually working on a book of what I call shorts. They're poetic shorts. So there may be like 4 to maybe 6 lines. They're really, really short. But I've started compiling those, and I do plan on pulling them together and having a book published soon.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to see if there's a timer on here. I got a little notice that says upgrade now to extend your time. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
Oh, technology stuff.
Yeah. So if you'd like for me to share a short or two, I can share those. Those might be a little bit easier to digest when I share them verbally.
Well, I'm going to lean on you to put that. I want a copy of that so I can sit here and read it.
Okay. Okay. I can do that. I can do that. I'll send you a copy.
And so maybe does your organization do much in publishing, and are you guys pursue that, or are you more about just the experience?
We mainly focus on the experience. We have people who come through our organization who have never shared their poetry in an audience before. And that's actually the thing that excites me the most about Rhyme N Chatt. So we have done a couple of books. We when we have our shows, we have videos of the poetry that's shared, and we post those on YouTube, and we do all that. But the thing that makes it all worthwhile to me is when at our shows, or when there's an open mic segment, or even when we had the opportunity to do an open mic at the Writers Festival that Chattanooga Writers Guild did. The thing that got me the most excited is when people come up and say, I've never shared a poem in front of people, but I want to share a poem today. And what that lets me know is that we have set the stage, set the platform to where this person felt safe. They've never felt safe before, but on today, in this moment, they felt safe. And that's powerful. That's so very powerful. So it's really the experience. It's really the experience. When someone who writes decides that they're going to share, when someone who doesn't write decides that they're going to start writing, things like that, when the lights come on, that's what's exciting. It's all about.
Cool. It sounds like that's the vision that really guides your organization. Really, do you have another one to share?
I can do a short. I can do a short. So here's a short. Until you can see the beauty in yourself, no one else will. And even if they did, you wouldn't believe them. That's one of my shorts.
That's short.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you get that one? Can you digest that one? Yeah. Yeah.
Short and sweet.
So it starts with loving and appreciating yourself. And if you don't love and appreciate yourself, you can get all of the accolades and compliments that the world has to offer. You still won't believe. You won't believe it. You won't believe it if you don't first believe it within yourself.
You know,
if you don't first
so to those listening, we are going to wrap up this interview here in a minute. But what's coming up next is a video with a bunch of members of Rhyme N Chatt.
Yes.
And we
have a few that are going to come together.
And we will get into a virtual Rhyme N Chatt experience. And so we're taking a short break to refill our waters. And and we're going to have a longer version with, we'll introduce all the members then. Marsha,
yes.
I really appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to our next session because I don't know, I know so many of the poets in your group, and it's exciting. It's kind of a privilege. Yes. And it's a privilege to meet you. This is really sweet.
Thank you.
So we've been with Marsha Mills, the president of Rhyme N Chatt, and coming up next is a meeting with all, okay, now, here we go.
with several, not all of them, but just a few of them.
How come they don't do this stuff in larger things? Okay.
We are coming live from Rhyme N Chatt. These are our virtual vibes. Sit back and enjoy our spoken word. First up is the one and only Chuck B. And so in tradition with Rhyme N Chatt, we're going to poet out our brother. And so Chuck B, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, everybody, Chuck B, your virtual vibe.
Woo.
All right, this one is called Footprints on the Moon. Hey you, yes you, what are you waiting on? Today is your day. You know what you have to do. You have been waiting for far too long. There's no time to lose, no minutes to waste. You're looking at you have one life, a masterpiece. You are Picasso. You are. Make up your mind and say, I will create, elevate with all that I have in me. There's nowhere that I can't go and nowhere I can't be. I can paint the beach jet black or stark white. Place crystals as stars in the night. Play tug of war with the tide. Pick the largest wave and ride. Run with the gazelle, stride to stride. You, yes you, don't just live, come alive. Now is your time. Write your name across the sky. Remove fear, face everything and rise. Hey you, yes you, to thine own self be true. Whatever comes, fight and push through. Keep fighting, keep climbing. Climb till the sky changes hue. Climb till Saturn's rings come into view. Climb until you leave your footsteps on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, I gotta interrupt. That was so great. We're getting some background noise. We probably better mute everyone except for the speakers, and then you can press the space bar. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Chuck B, especially for being the first one. I know you had to step out there, and we really appreciate it. We're not going to open up for any comments or thoughts. So you can unmic and then ask your questions, comments, thoughts, or encouragements for Chuck B.
This is Marsha.
So
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing such an upbeat and inspiring and encouraging piece. That is perfect for a time such as this. Caprice, go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, I felt it was very uplifting and encouraging because, yeah, at this time, it's easy to want to give up and on when you're not able to do the things you used to be. I felt it to be very encouraging.
Both of them.
I really like the line where you said, don't just live, but come alive. A lot of us are trying to kind of cope with this new living and what that is. And so that really resonated with me when you said, you know, it's not about living, it's about coming alive, participating in our community, still identifying whatever your goal is and reach for it, you know. And so that really hit home with me.
My question is, what made you come up with that name, the title?
I just thought it was kind of cool. Like that was the last line that came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's a dope title." Matter of fact, that's gonna be the theme line for my life, or that's gonna be the first line in my book whenever I decide to write one.
Okay, that was just unusual for me, which is unusual for me to see you doing poetry because I didn't know you do poetry. But okay, yeah, I like that. That was on point.
Yeah, both of us are surprised right now. I didn't know you did it either.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chuck B. One thing we're going to do, we do not have our chatterackers, so my feelings are kind of hurt, but we're going to come alive anyway. So our virtual come alive is when the poet says something that resonates. I see you, Carla. Poetic sophistication. when something resonates with you and you're really feeling what the poet is saying, since we're all muted, we just gonna snap. We're just gonna take it to a virtual. Thank you for that. So this is how we will encourage our poets and let our poets know that we are feeling them and we appreciate what they're sharing. So let's go ahead and give some virtual chatterackers to Chuck B. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And,
All right, so we're gonna keep.
Rachel, in your other meetings, do you usually have those little things that Carla had?
Oh, they're not little things, Brother Mark. They are chatterackers. Yes, sir. That makes Rhyme N Chatt unique. And so we rhyme and then we chat. And so what chatterackers do is it encourages our poets. We hit the table with our chatterackers to encourage and make noise and celebrate the words that are shared.
That sounds awesome.
Yes, sir. So next up we have Sister Sarita. And so what we're going to ask Sister Sarita to do is we're going to ask her to share her virtual vibe when we poetic out her, okay? All right, Sister Sarita, are you ready?
I am.
All right, everybody, please remember to mute your mic while Sister Sarita is sharing. All right, Sister Sarita, what's your virtual vibe?
This is a small piece called After This. God's light of glory will never be dimmed, and there will be a refreshing and restoration that others will have no doubt He was behind it. So there will be victory after this COVID pandemic, after this heartbreak, after this car repossession, after this health scare, after this divorce, after this foreclosure, after having to bury a loved one, after your kids acting crazy, after bankruptcy, and after this administration. God, send your refreshing wind to revive us, renew us, refresh us, and restore us.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? I need for you to just print that out and I'm just gonna hang it in my house, especially the part when the kids act up. Any questions, comments, or thoughts? This is Sarita.
I personally really liked how you included different things such as like divorce or burying a loved one, because some people only think about the crisis on a surface level, and sometimes they don't consider the fact that like home abuse has gone up like 100%, or the fact that people are having to bury people they've cared about. And I think that's really important to talk about, and I thank you for that.
Thanks.
What was the name of it?
After this.
After this. Okay.
After this.
Appropriate. Good name.
Okay, that's different. I would never thought of that name. That's an unusual name, but yeah, it fits and it's encouraging.
Thanks.
It's really encouraging. Like, yeah, it makes you think.
It puts us beyond the other side of this. It's all about on the other side, you know, beyond. We're thinking positive instead of just seeing the moment, seeing beyond it.
Right. I just wanted to encourage people not to get stuck in what's going on now, to try to focus on what's going to take place after all these things take place in our life, and us getting past it and getting to the other side of it.
That's so true. Thank you so very much. Any other comments or thoughts? It is so good to hear your voice, Sarita. It's just so calming. And I would like to also echo what Ella said. It is important not to just think about the things that we've seen on TV, but all the other things that's going on. You know, the stress that is not seen. And a lot of people assume that just because you don't have something that is a visual affliction that you are not struggling with something, you know. And so, but on the other side of through, that's where we're heading. So thank you. Thank you for that. All right, so Brother Smitty.
Yes.
Are you well? You good? You adjusted and you gone?
No, I'm here. I got to go to my, I got to go to my poem. It's on my phone. So that's what I was saying earlier, that it might click off. I don't know if you can hear me or not. And I just got in trouble because you can hear the dogs in the background barking. So let me go back in here so y'all can hear me without the dogs. Yeah. I just got checked.
I knew you were gonna get in trouble. I knew you were gonna get in trouble, but since we recorded, I'm not gonna talk about how I knew you were gonna get in trouble.
Okay, well, I'm about to go get adjusted. Here we go. Now,
And
there
we're gonna
should
wait
be.
for you.
Yeah, we. Okay. Let me. All right, here we go. But anyway, now I don't know if I go to my notes, if it will click me off where you
But
want
your name is still coming up, so we'll know you're there.
Okay, let me see. Let's see if how it's gonna work. Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we still hear you.
So, Brother Smitty, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Smitty,
Okay.
what's your virtual vibe?
Huh? Okay. So this one's called Struggle. To walk in life secured in weakness, embraced by failure, strengthen in steady struggle. Pain in the spirit, hurt harmed only by doubt, no column strong enough to keep it from crumbling. Tossing to and fro, insecurities gaining momentum, snowballing to an avalanche of fear. Purposes in life muted, silence indefinitely. In the midst of people, still no one is near. The tears won't ever fall, emotionally devoid. The season slow and of strong passing. Arid in connection, alone from understanding, pain mockingly gratified with life's laughter. Grasp questionable with pressures piled high, the grip strength weakened in its tightening. Vision enlightenment from the noose that slowly begins to choke assurance, to breathe becomes stifling. The bridge to achieve becomes a gorge of doubts. Completedness, soft echoes then become muffled. Whether hearing a faint sound of success or the deafening roar of failure, I'll press through in the struggle. I'm not a good reader, y'all. But anyway.
It was actually great, and the sound was good. We heard it clear.
You're an excellent poet. You're an excellent poet. Your play on words and just the depth in what you go when you write. I just really, really enjoy the poetry that you write. That particular poem, was it written specifically during this time, or is it an older poem that you're sharing with?
No, that's actually an older poem, just me dealing with me. You know what I'm saying? So just my journey in life when things don't be where I thought they would be when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? And so here I am later on in life, and it's like, okay, but you know, you just kind of reevaluate things and just go from there. And so that's where that came from.
That was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really like the line where you talked about how you have. I wrote half of it. I tried to jot it down really quickly when you talked about those things that strengthen even through the struggles. And a lot of times we do go back and forth with that. You know, one moment something, you know, it strengthens you, and the next second, that same thing is like a struggle.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and it's a never ending, like a toggle, like you just go back and forth, back and forth. And it's true. But you just keep going and make it work. That's very true. Thank you for sharing that. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Number one, I thought it was dope. I thought it was real dope. And I'm gonna give you a piece of advice that somebody named Marsha Mills gave me when I first started reciting poetry. Don't ever, well, actually, Vincent said it to me and Marsha said it to me. Don't apologize for your poetry, and don't apologize for the way you read. That's you. That's you. That's what you bring to the world. That's how it comes out, and it's only gonna come out the way that you want it to. This is your work. That's your soul, and we just got a piece of it.
True. That's true.
Well, appreciate it. Like I said, I want to become a better reader. Like I said, I think I'm good as far as writing, but as far as the reading aspect of it, that's one thing I'm having to learn, because that's not nothing that I really invested myself into. So this is new territory for me.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey and just stepping out bold enough to do it on this platform. A lot of us are in this new normal where sharing and virtual hugs and virtual support is everything. So we do not take it for granted that you chose us to share it with. So we thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or thoughts for Brother Smitty?
Oh, I wanted to say that I really liked the line about something like snowballing, and I like just over and over again, because I struggle with anxiety, and that's how a lot of times it feels. Like one thing after the other, like every day, and I really connected with that line.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'll toss in that some poems I need to hear twice, or I wish you all would write them, put them in a book, because that kind of poem, it deserves to be read and thought about. And when not only this reading, but whenever I go to a poetry reading, it's always like, oh, that was too quick. I'm still thinking about one line, and it's just, that's just the way poetry is. It needs to be. You get, sure, the experience in the moment is good, but then it's like, okay, now I want to think about that for a while. Follow me? Because it was intense, beautifully intense.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
That's all.
Beautifully intense. That might have to show up in a poem or
I'm
something.
thinking the same thing.
I can have some beautifully intense moments, but we on a time limit, so let's not digress before I be like you, Smith, and then I get in trouble for something. So we're gonna move right along. I can still get in virtual trouble. Sister Ella, how are you?
I'm good. Hi.
Welcome. So you are our next poet.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm actually sharing a poem.
Okay, hold on. We got a poetic you out right, Sister Ella, okay? I'm gonna ask you, are you ready? And you say yes. Okay, everybody. Ella, what's your virtual vibe?
This is a poem that I didn't share during the practice thing, so. Am I not a man, strong and wise and powerful? Shakespeare once said, "What's in a name?" So maybe I'm foolish for my inquiry of equality, yet men aren't getting 2/3 pay. I'd shave my head for rights and sacrifice for freedom, yet that never happens, and deeper I sink into desperation. I am a woman, flaws and all, and maybe I'm nervous or just scared of this all. As we speak, my heart races, but I will still scream and fight against your phrases demeaning genders, lives, and those from other places. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like hanging on to every word. I didn't know. I was like, what?
We needed more. We needed
What's
more.
going to happen?
Ella, you have been here before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you are not 14 years old. You've been here
I say the
before.
same thing. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You're gonna have to read it over because it's
Yeah, can you do it one more time if you don't
Yeah.
mind, please?
Oh, yeah, I can. I gotta pull it up again. Am I not a man, strong and wise and powerful? Shakespeare once said, "What's in a name?" So maybe I'm foolish for my inquiry of equality, yet men aren't getting 2/3 pay. I'd shave my head for rights and sacrifice for freedom, yet that never happens, and deeper I sink into desperation. I am a woman, flaws and all. Maybe I'm just nervous or just scared of this all. As we speak, my heart races, but I will still scream and fight against your phrases demeaning genders, lives, and those from other places.
That was beautiful. What a beautiful mouthpiece you are for your generation. I tell you, you do a phenomenal job. So that particular poem, did you write it specifically for this open mic?
I actually wrote this after 8 boys in my grade were suspended for virtual bullying and sexual harassment.
Wow.
So, yeah. And some of it was targeted towards me, and so I had to deal with it somehow.
I tell you, writing poetry is amazingly therapeutic. So I commend you for using your creativeness, your creativity as your channel in order to share, those emotions and things of that nature. Is this your first time sharing that particular poem?
Yes, this is my first time sharing this poem.
Awesome. Awesome. I thank you and I commend you. I commend you for your bravery. Anybody else have any comments or questions for Ella?
What was that line? Inquiry of equality?
Yeah, hang on, I'll pull it up. So maybe I'm foolish for my inquiry of equality.
That's nice.
I want to encourage you, Ella, to keep going. Like I am almost in tears because I'm hearing through you, as young as you are, saying, being a woman, is that not enough? My skin tone, is that not enough?
Yeah.
Being a young adult, is that not enough? And so it goes across the board to everything anybody could be dealing with. But the kick part is you may not think I'm enough, but I know I am. So I'm going to continue to stand regardless. So get used to me. I'm not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
And you stay that way.
Anybody else?
And how awesome you are that you've been able to verbalize. It took me years to be comfortable
As a woman, as a female, and not having a weird inadequacy about it. I couldn't verbalize it, and for you to be able to just talk about it, even with the visual representations, of shaving of the head and all of that we do in a third of the pay. I mean, all of those pieces are important in it. And it can, I'm gonna go back to what Brother Smith was saying, it can either be something that we grow and it strengthens us, or it's a struggle, and it's one of those things, and it's just beautiful that you put it together that way. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I think we've got time for everyone to share, but I have to warn you, the quality, so many technical problems. Sometimes the voices fade out, and I'm like, that part is discouraging. We've just so much, I don't know how my voice, maybe I fade in and out, but we still got a few more minutes. I hope we can finish everyone, Rachel.
All right, I would like to apologize ahead of time. My neighbor is weed eating. Can you all hear that? Is that a distraction?
Cannot hear it.
I can hear it.
All right, so I'm glad of that. So we'll just, yes, we will keep going. Next up is a Phenomenal C. Are you ready, sister?
I am ready, sister.
You always ready.
I am Rhyme N Chatt ready.
Rhyme N Chatt ready. Ain't no better ready than that.
No, it ain't.
All right. So everybody, Phenomenal C has already said that she is ready. Phenomenal C, what's your virtual vibe?
My virtual vibe is what? What is this thing that causes my ink of passion's flames to quiver, shake, awake from slumber and flow onto yesteryear, today, right now, tomorrow sheets? What is this that causes my mind's soul to summons lyrical nouns, verbs, and adjectives of expressions from the depths of my soul? Metaphors, haikus, sometimes political views, and reviews of he, him, she, her, them, they, and what are we going to do? What are we going to say? This thing that drives my lyrical soul and summons me in the wee hours of the nighttime is called poetry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. The whole time I'm trying to figure out, ooh, what is that? What?
Good.
What is it?
Good.
Yes.
I tell you, I always enjoy the passion in which you share.
Thank you.
Your poetry is just always so emotion filled, and it just pulls the listener in and just kind of leaves us wanting more. You are truly phenomenal.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, that's what poetry is. That's what it is for all of us who write. So thank you for sharing.
And that's one of the things that motivates me is that poetry does not choose us. I mean, we don't choose it, it chooses us. You know, and sometimes it's the very things that cause our hearts to ache and our minds to wrestle that motivate us to write. Whatever our art is, whether it's writing, drawing, dancing, it's that causes us to share and to develop that art. So it's passion.
I'm going to piggyback off of what Rachel said, because while you were reciting that, I had a lot of what's coming to my mind.
Yeah.
You know, because we all go through and the what touches on different things with different people. Mm-hmm. And lately with the what's, I've been keeping pen and pad very close to the nightstand. Mm-hmm. Because that's usually a time of me writing and reflecting. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of what's, and thank you for getting me to think about the what's.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like what you said about how poetry and the arts, we don't pick it, it picks us. Mm. And that is so true. And it's never, I don't ever think it's been said that way. You know, it's kind of like a soulmate. It just fits. Mm-hmm. You know, and once it picks you, it's really nothing you can do. You
can't do anything. It will haunt you. I don't want to, I can't stop right now to write this down. Or you'll find yourself pulling over to the side of the road, pulling out your cell phone to type it in because you don't want to get up to turn the bedroom light on. You know, but it summons us.
And it gets in your pit, you know, and it's even when you, and I know all of us have pieces that we probably will never share because it may not be shareable, whatever, but that thing, it just gets you and you got to get it all out.
That's right.
Or you just, yeah, it is that what? Thank you.
It's that release.
Yeah, it is.
It's that when you can't sleep, although you don't go to sleep, you're still rested because you got this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I fought it for a long time, but what I'm saying, it's that release. It's that release. Like you said, okay, you just pull over to the side of the road, or you just wake up in the middle of the night, and once you do it, and you be like, you know what, like, okay, I've been up all these hours, but I'm okay because I got it out.
Got it out.
You know what I'm saying? It's that release for you. It like I say, when it grabs you, and it's only a few people that it does that to, and it makes us different than the usual.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We think totally different. We embrace different, this, that, and other. Something about poetry, I don't care about songwriting or anything like that. Poetry creates a different individual. And it's a struggle because a lot of times we don't understand ourselves, but poetry understands us. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's my 2 cents on it.
That sounded like another poem.
Another poem. You ready to start another poem? Because you said a whole bunch of stuff. Poetry creates us.
Okay.
Gonna be on our next Rhyme N Chatt shirt.
Y'all should.
So thank you again, everybody. Let's give Phenomenal C our virtual Chattanooga noise. Thank you so much. So next up we have Sister Jessica Priest. How are you doing?
I am well.
It is so good to see you.
You too. All of you.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, everybody. Jessica Priest, what's your virtual vibe?
I'm going places. I'm going places. Maya, mother, inspiration, educator, God-fearing mentor lady, leading lady, leader, because you paved the way. I'm going places, mother, Maya, so full of milk that babies suckle, legs grow strong and do not buckle. So we go on another day. I'm going places. Maya, survivor of the broken mister, teaching all your daughters, sisters whose words were stifled, trampled, crippled. Equip us with new words to say. I'm going places, mother, gentle lady, quiet spoken, refuse to be another token. Tie them up without a rope. If they don't move, your words will move them out of their own way. I'm going places. Mother, Maya, mother, Maya, places I would not have known, places I'd have never gone, except you paved the way. I'm going places. Maya, mother.
Yeah.
Question, maybe I'm the slow person in the room, but who is Maya?
Maya Angelou.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought, but I was just making sure. Okay. I'm slow.
Is that also who you calling mother?
Say that again.
Maya also the person that you're calling mother, or are they?
Yeah, she's a mother figure, a sister figure, teacher, yeah, mentor.
That's a beautiful tribute.
Yes,
A beautiful tribute to Maya and what she means to so many of us as poets. You know, it was an amazing thing to me as a little, you know, as a young poet to see a poet on television who looked like me. That was really encouraging to me. So she was truly a poet that I looked up to in my youth, and I hear the emotion and the passion in your delivery, and that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I really like how you talked about how the places I'm going, the places I've gone, and even the places that I'm thinking about going is because of her. You know, she was one of the first poets to make it mainstream, you know, to make it acceptable. And then, I like to tie back things. And then even for your poem to be about this strong woman who did so many things that were before her time, and then thinking about what Ella was writing, you know, she's that next generation of Mayas who are going to just break all kind of barriers for her generation. And just to think about like just her life, you know, because poetry came to her. She didn't go to it, you know, and just so how all of that just kind of came full circle right there for me. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I wanted to add on the strong mother part that you kept reciting, because she definitely was a mother to so many as far as women and the way we should look at ourselves and the strength that is within us to change generations and to lead others. So I really like the mother part that you placed in there.
Thank you so much.
I really liked the line about like the paths that have already been gone through or something like that, because it really, you know, people say that like certain things like that path's already been paved, but sometimes those paths were paved so long ago that we kind of forget about them, and we gotta kind of go back through and fix them up, you know, and do stuff like that. And I think that's really important. I really like that line.
Thank you, Ella.
Miss Ella, you are something amazing. Miss Ella. That's not Ella, that's Miss Ella.
Look at you talking about going and repaving roads. Girl, that's your next poem.
That's insight. That is deep insight.
Just Caprice. I like the line you said, your words will move them out of the way. It made me think about how a lot of times when we're listening to others, you know, speak their heart, how the words move. And I realized you weren't reading that, you were speaking that. So that really, that was very powerful, very powerful.
Thank you, Ms. Tony.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Lady T. Are you ready, Lady T?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Lady T, everybody, what's your virtual vibe?
The canvas of my soul. When writing words that flow from the heart to the pen, the paper, it catches the muse of my soul. When drawing pictures from my mind for others to see, I realize that I'm offering my soul's key. When sharing all of me with you, I know that I open up a world that you have no clue to. Done.
Them first three lines. Oh my God.
You know what? This is gonna be recorded. You made me sick when you do that. Like right when I'm getting into it, ooh, her soul key. Is it? Are we gonna see it? And then you stop.
Them first three lines killed it.
I think you should read it again.
Yeah.
Let me read it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
When writing words that flow from the heart to the pen, the paper, it catches the muse of my soul. When drawing pictures from my mind for others to see, I realize that I'm offering my soul's key. When sharing all of me with you, I know that I open up a world that you have no clue to. The canvas of my soul.
Whew. Okay.
You repeating the title doesn't make me like feel like you stretched it out anymore though. Like I needed for you to keep on going.
That's all he gave me.
You know what? Sometimes enough is enough, because that was just enough. It encouraged me to, I came up with a new poem title and everything through that, and I'm ready to get off of here so I can write it down.
They don't have a clue.
I loved it.
I loved it. They don't have a clue, do they, Lady T? Not
a clue.
Any other questions, comments?
I really enjoyed it. And you know, Rachel kind of goes through that when she introduces us on the stage before we start, that this is our passion. This is us talking and speaking from the heart, and to kind of respect what everybody else is saying and what they are feeling. Right. And I think that's a big thing for an artist, to get to a point where you're coming with your vibe, whether you want people to understand, but you cannot allow them not understanding what you coming across, what you're feeling and what you're seeing and what you're sensing. So that was really powerful.
Thank you.
It was so true. That last line just is gonna stick with me, because they really don't have a clue how much is in us. You know, thank you for sharing that.
Really and truly, none of us have a clue to what anyone has in them unless we share it. And so often we keep everything bottled up inside or what have you. But I hope that we can continue as a group, as a poetry group, to be inspirational for others, such as Ella and others, to be willing to share you with the world, because there's a lot of people out there that will be able to relate more than we know.
Yeah, that is so true. Thank you, Lady T. Let's give it up for Lady T. Okay, so I see that my name is next. Okay, Marsha.
Look who just showed up. We have KB with us now.
Yes, good. Okay.
I've been waiting.
Welcome, KB.
Hi,
so Rachel, are you ready?
Natural thoughts.
Okay, natural thoughts.
Yes.
Natural thoughts, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, everyone, natural thoughts. What's your virtual vibe?
Love. Life over visual expectations. Life is a choice, not made for social media, not created with Snapchat filters, kissing while holding breath of morning sugar, laughing with full mouths of meals. Life over what you expect, flipping through media, overindulging, picture-perfect lives, faked for likes, envy and desire. Love was edited out, took up too much data, not downloadable. No, I choose real, rated R love. Real life over visual effects. Not spending a whole day to get the best angle. Let's have a full course of life. Spending it holding imperfect hands, making real memories. You see, my love is messy. Like trying to pick up that last piece of pork off of that chop bone. Big grease, life type of love. letting one's vulnerability escape. Breathe while I resuscitate. Having no need to hide. You see, help me take down my braids. I wash your work clothes. You ignore my imperfections. I bake you buttermilk cornbread in our cast iron skillet that has been passed down through 3 generations of big mamas. What's love got to do with it? Everything. Living outside of virtually everything. I only need you. God's personal creation, the inked one he named. Adam is your father, bastard you will never be. Seeing the beauty in every step, moving aside to let you lead. It is a conscious choice, a decision. Checkmate, because I love. Winning because I waited to be loved. I can love. Listen, obtaining valuable energy, my hue is brightened by your mere presence. My stride is in sync with your arrhythmic beat. Thump, thump. I can time my pace with your blinks. Your heartbeat is my lifeline. You see, I'm living outside vices and envies. Having all to give with nothing to hold back, we dive. Love you is everything.
Yeah. We have comments, questions.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
The death of love. I like that though.
Thank you.
Real love, anyway, not this new modern technology type thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation right there.
Not downloadable.
Buttermilk cornbread.
Right.
That's the real stuff. And I like as you went through it, the focus on the fact that it's a choice. It's living deliberately. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Well, yeah. That's the truest form, would be a choice. Anything you do purposely and intentionally, that means you wholeheartedly got yourself into it. You know?
Yeah. Just piggybacking off of what everybody said, I mean, I feel like falling in love in itself isn't a choice, but in order to reciprocate it or to just kind of continue it is very much a choice, and you kind of have to do it in a way that's good for the other person as well. And sometimes that can be doing it, sometimes something like you've not done before, like not use like social media in order to do it. And I think that's really good.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a comment or a question for Natural Thoughts?
I like the fact that you put emphasis on like it being real. Something that is opposite of what we are trying to, or what we are told is real love versus what real love actually looks like, and it's imperfect in all of its perfection.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wasn't going to share, but I'm glad that I did. This is new for all of us. So thank you all so much. In tradition with Rhyme N Chatt shows, thank you, Brother Mark, for letting us know that we're about out of time. But we ended. Do we have enough time for one more question?
If you want, we can do one more.
Yes, because we have to. We end with the poem. You can make announcements, and then Poetic Diva is our president, and she's going to end us out.
Okay, I'll make my announcements first then.
Okay.
So first, I just want to thank you all. And I hope this will be a great experience for the Chattanooga Writers Guild. And I hope you'll all join us at some of our events. And if we want to join one of your events, how can we find out more about you? Or just your Facebook page, or do you have a web page too?
The very best way to stay informed as far as our current and upcoming events is to join the Facebook group. So Rhyme N Chatt Interactive Poetry Group on Facebook is the best way to stay informed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. you know, I wish we could record this live so we wouldn't have all this technical strange sounds and stuff. So we'll see what this is like when we play it back. I hope it's acceptable to everyone. Thanks again. Okay, who's our last person?
Thank you, Mark, and the Chattanooga Writers Guild. We really appreciate you reaching out to us. This really means a lot to us, so we look forward to working with you again. So thank you for this platform. We're going to end out our virtual vibes with one and only, the boss lady, even in virtual world. Poetic Diva, are you ready?
I am ready.
Everybody, Poetic Diva, what's your virtual vibe?
This that I'm going to share with you is what I call a poetic short, and it is very, very short. And it states, your dreams will always be dreams as long as you stay asleep. Wake up. The future you is a direct reflection of how the current you spends their time.
One more time.
Read all of it again. Read it again.
Yes. It wasn't that long. You can read it again.
Your dreams will always be dreams as long as you stay asleep. Wake up. The future you is a direct reflection of how the current you spends their time.
Yeah. That is a great, you know what? I love us because that's the best way to end it. Because we have to, time is it should be more valuable than money because that's all we got.
Yeah.
What we got is what we got. Questions, comments, or thoughts?
I really like the poem. I have some like kind of hard to reach things I want to do with my life, so just get into like Columbia University in New York for creative writing, and that's something that's gonna take a lot of work to do, and you gotta have to kind of like focus on that instead of just thinking about it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. You got to put some action behind it. You got to put some action behind it.
The older I get, the more I find that what you just said in that poem is the honest truth. Like everything that you are is a result of all the choices that you make. And everything that you're gonna be is a result of all the choices that you make right now.
It's good to hear something short, succinct, and so meaningful that you can share with everybody. You can get that right out there. Totally, you should print that on everything. Share that. We all need to hear that. I mean, not just the young people, but I mean, people. We forget. We get so worn down in our ruts. We just follow the same routine. We don't do anything new. And yet no matter how old we are, we still have dreams, and we need to, get off our butts and do them. And you just said that in a beautiful way. Thank you.
Yeah. And as a poet, our poetry, we're talking to ourselves first. So, yeah. So.
Most definitely.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording, and thanks to everyone.